Stay hydrated. Very true. Okay.
Me.
Love you. Are you ready? Okay, this one is Peerless Beauty. In a far-off land lived a Tsar and a Tsarina who had one son, whom they named Ivan. Yeah, Ivan.
I like that name.
Yeah, they were very glad when he was born and placed him on a beautiful oaken cradle among some pillows of the softest down. All was cozy and comfortable. But, try as they would, the nurse maidens could not rock Ivan Tsarevich to sleep. Softly they sang, but the young...
weird fairy tales.
Well, that's his name. Look, see? Ivan Tsarevich. Tsarevich? I don't know. I'm very bad with other things and stuff. But anyways, softly they sang, but the young prince roared and beat the sides of the cradle with his little fists. He was like, burr, burr, burr. At last the nurse maidens lost all patience, and they cried out to the Tsar, "Come, rock your son!" So the Tsar sat down beside the cradle and placed a great toe upon the rocker and said, "Sleep, little son, sleep, sleep, sleep. Soon you will be a man, and then you will marry a peerless beauty." He made this promise only once, and it had such a soothing effect. Oh, I skipped a page, maybe. Oh, nope, it had such a soothing effect upon the restless Tsarevich that he soon went to sleep and continued sleeping for 3 days and 3 nights. Whoa, that's a long time. But soon he woke up again, and now he cried even louder than before. Once again the nurse maidens tried to rock him to sleep, but were forced to call out to the Tsar. So the Tsar came once more to the cradle of his son and made a wonderful promise, whereupon the child fell asleep again and slept for 3 days and 3 nights again.
Wow.
Yeah, but then he woke up again and he was naughty like he was before. And for a 3rd time the nurse maidens called in the help of the Tsar. Now when the Tsarevich awoke the 3rd time in his cradle and said, "Bless me, father, for I am going to my wedding." The Baba said that? "My dear son," said the Tsar in great wonderment, "you are altogether only 9 days old. How can you get married?"
What does 9 days old mean?
He was only 9 days old, like just over a week old. He had just been born, and the Tsar is like, "Oh my goodness, how can you talk? And how are you going to get married?" "Well, that shall be as it is," said the Tsarevich. "Well, well, well," said the Tsar, "may all good things go with you then." And he was not in the least surprised to see his son rise from the cradle, a full-grown youth, and step outside. Whoa, on his way across the courtyard, he met a young man who said, "Young man, where are you going?" "I am going to seek the Peerless Beauty," said the Tsarevich. "You are a very courteous youth," says the old man, "and deserve to take advantage of the knowledge of the aged. Peerless Beauty lives in the edge of the white world at the place where the sun peeps up. It's called the Golden Kingdom of the East." Then Tsarevich went on to the stables and selected his heroic steed. Far, far away he rode until the long night came. And as the darkness fell, he came to a house as large as the town, with rooms each as big as a village. Wow. Then he went into the first room and said to the old woman he found there, "I'll be glad to spend the night here." "Where are you journeying?" asked the old woman. "Give me food to eat and wine to drink," says Tsarevich. "In the morning ask me whether I have slept in peace, and then ask where I may be journeying." Next morning she asked him again, and he replied, "I was in my cradle when my father came to me and promised that I would marry the Peerless Beauty." "Oh, good youth," says the old woman, I am nearly 70 years of age, but the Peerless Beauty I have never heard. But farther on the way lives my elder sister. Perhaps she knows. Then Ivan Jarvik went into the house and rode far away across the old steppe. All day he rode and all night. And he was coming on, and as night was coming on, he came to the second house. It was just as large as a town, with each room as large as a village. Wow, that's a huge mansion, huh? Well, he dismounted from the horse and asked the old lady whom he met in the first room if he might be getting a night's lodging, and here it happened as it happened before, only the old woman was 80 years of age. Farther on the road, she says, lives my elder sister, and she has givers of answers. The first givers of answers are the fishes and the dwellers of the sea, and the second givers of the answers are the wild beasts of the dark forests. And the third givers are the birds of the air. Oh, birds of the open air. Whatever is in the white world is obedient to the will of my elder sister. Ooh. Once again, Ivan Jarvik set out and came to a house where he tied his old horse to a golden ring and received an old woman who screamed at him in a voice like a flock of peacocks. "Oh, you man of boldness, you have tied your horse to my golden ring. Why'd you do that?" "Rawr, rawr, rawr," she says. "Brr, brr, brr." "Oh, patience, good grandmother," said Jarvik gently. "Ah, my good youth," said the woman gently, "did I frighten you? Well, sit down and eat." Ivan did so, and then he told the old woman where he was going and what his quest was. "Well, go to your rest," she said shortly. "In the morning I'll call my givers of answers." So the next morning the old woman and the young man sat on the porch, and the old woman whistled, whereupon a blue sea heaved a great heap, and the fishes and large, small sea serpents and sea dragons rose up on the surface and made for the shore. "Ah, come no further," says the old woman, raising her hand. "Tell me where this good youth can find the Peerless Beauty." Then the answer came from millions of mouths. "We have not seen nor heard of her." The old woman blew her whistle then, and the forests echoed the sound of a million wild beasts out there. But the answer to her question was the same. "We have not seen nor heard of her." "Now come hither," says the grandmother, "all of you birds in the air." And in a moment the light of the sun was hidden by the sound of flapping wings like a storm. But the answer was, "We have not seen or heard of her." "My givers of answers fail me," says the old ancient woman. She took Ivan by the hand and led him to the house. And there they flew through an open window the mogul bird. Oh, a mogul bird. "Ah, mogul bird," says the old woman.
What is that?
"Look, see, it's a mogul bird. A mogul bird. Mogul bird."
Weird.
Oh, I don't even know what a mogul bird is.
Not either.
But that looks like the mogul bird. "Well, mogul bird," says the old lady. "From where have you come?" "Oh, I have come from the home of the Peerless Beauty," was the reply. The old woman clapped her hands in delight. "That's the news I seek. Now, mogul bird, do me a favor. Come carry this young man to the home of the Peerless Beauty." "That I will," was the reply. Onward and ever onward flew the mogul bird, till it came to a green meadow and a tall silken grass with blue flowers. Here it flew down to the earth, and Ivan alighted. That means he got off from it. On went the young man until he came to a great town, and he entered the narrow street and found an old woman in a poor mean house who seemed to be expecting him. "Oh, I'm the Peerless Beauty. I'm old now." "Oh, hello, dog." "Hello, puppy."
It's just stuffy.
"Oh, I know, it's a stuffy puppy."
I know. Hit that one.
Well, this old lady in the town, she says, "Go to bed and sleep soundly after your flight, Ivan," she says. So the young man lay down and slept soundly, so soundly that when the bell rang for the early morning prayers, not all the calling, nor all the shaking, nor all the shouting could rouse him. Then the old grandmother took a tiny feather and tickled the sleeper's nose, whereupon he woke with a start and went to the cathedral. He bowed first to the high altar and then to the Peerless Beauty, who knelt alone in the church. When the service was over, the young man looked at the Peerless Beauty without speaking, and while he took 6 brave heroes came upon the shore and stood at the great door of the cathedral. Peerless Beauty went to meet them with Ivan Jarvik close behind her. "What country clown is this?" called the brave heroes. But Ivan swung his right arm in a circle 3 times round, and they stopped. The heroes were lying at the feet of the princess in a heap of confusion. Pow, pow, pow. So Ivan Jarvik then went back to the old grandmother, who put him to bed. And the second day it all happened as before, and the Peerless Beauty looked at Ivan as he knelt in silence by her side, and she blushed. Now the third day again it all happened as before, except when Ivan entered the church the Peerless Beauty nodded. Then, when Ivan had laid low 6 more scornful heroes, the Peerless Beauty took him by the hand, and together, without a word, they went up to the priest and they got married. Wow. They only knew each other for 3 days and they got married? That's terrible. After that, they went home and they feasted. Oh my goodness, a big giant feast. No, it wasn't cats. Don't worry, cat. The kitty's silly, huh? And then they prepared to set out for the home of Ivan. Over the open, boundless plain they rode until Peerless Beauty grew weary and lay down to rest, while Ivan guarded her slumber. And when she woke up, refreshed, and the bridegroom said, "Now guard my slumbers, Peerless Beauty, for I am very weary too." "Will your sleep be short or long?" says the bride. "I shall sleep," said Ivan, "for no longer nor shorter than 9 days and 9 nights." And then he lay down and slept. Yeah. And while he slept, there came a rushing whirlwind across the open steppe, and the heart of the whirlwind rested. In the heart of the whirlwind rested Koshai, who never dies. I don't know. Who bore away Peerless Beauty into his kingdom beyond the sea. And when Ivan woke to find himself alone, sadly he gazed across the empty, boundless plain. And when he arose and went back to the town, sought the old woman in the poor, mean house, and seemed to be expecting him again, and told her all of his tale of sadness. "Well, go to bed and sleep soundly after your sorrow, Ivan," she says. But at midnight there came a rushing whirlwind again across the open steppe, and in the heart of the whirlwind rested Koshai, who never dies, who bore away Ivan to his kingdom beyond the sea. So he took Ivan too. Oh, goodness. At the gate of the palace, Ivan knocked, and the gate was opened by Peerless Beauty. Then they went to an upper room where the bridegroom said to the bride, "When Koshai comes back, ask him where his death is." Then Koshai came in the door, and Ivan went out the other door. "Pooh, pooh," says Koshai, who never dies. "I smell the blood of a Russian. Was it Ivan who was just here now?" "Oh no! Oh no! Why, Koshai?" says the Peerless Beauty, clasping her hand. "Ivan has long ago been devoured by wild beasts in the plain." So they sat down to dinner, and when Koshai was eaten well, Peerless said to him, "Now tell me, where is your death?" "Oh, it is tied up in the broom, silly one," said Koshai. Next morning Koshai went out, and as soon as he had gone, Ivan came to the Peerless Beauty and kissed her. And then she took the broom from the corner near the stove and gilded it with pure beaten gold. And when that was done, it took a long time to cover each twig, Ivan left his bride, and Koshai, who never dies, came in by another door. "Whew, whew, I smell the blood of a Russian again. Was it Ivan who is just here now?" "Oh, why, Koshai? You've been flying through Russia, caught up in the smell of the country with your own clothes." Then they sat down to supper, and Koshchei saw the gilded broom. "What does this mean?" he says sternly. "See how I honor you," says the Peerless Beauty, "for I gilded even death for you." "Little fool, I tricked you," says Koshchei. "My death is not in the broom, but it is hidden in the old oak fence." So next day it happened as before, and the Peerless Beauty gilded the whole fence. When Koshchei saw it, he laughed and said to her, "Oh, little fool, I tricked you again. My death is in an egg, and the egg is in a downy duck, and the duck is in a stump of a tree which floats upon the open sea." So the next day the Peerless Beauty rose very early before the sun was up and went to the stove to the kitchen. "I must send Ivan," she says, "on a long search for that downy duck. He has a long way to go, so I must bake him a love cake." Love. So she baked him not just one love cake, but 3 of them. And she kneaded the dough and spoke the love spell into it so that Ivan should fare well on his journey. Ooh. The cakes were browned and buttered and wrapped in napkins, where Ivan came to the kitchen just as the sun rose. But as he put his arms around the cake baker, he whispered in the ear to look for the death of Koshchei. And Ivan kissed her and went out to the cakes in the porch. Onward he went until he came to the edge of the sea, and then he knew not how to go further. He'd eaten all the cakes and was very hungry, so very hungry that when a hawk flew up to his head, he cried, "Hawk, hawk, I will shoot you dead and eat you." "Why eat me?" says the hawk. "I could be a good service to you." All right. And then a great bear came ambling along, and "Bear, bear, I'll shoot you and eat you." And the bear says, "Don't eat me. I can help you out later too." And then later Ivan saw a great pike leap from the sea and lie floundering in the shingle shore. "Pike, pike, I will kill and eat you then." The pike is a kind of fish.
Why do you want to kill it?
"Because he's hungry." "Better, far better," says the pike. "If you cast me into the sea." "It seems to me," says Ivan, "that I am having nothing further to eat." "Well, then, I will go on with it." So he flung the floundering pike back into the sea, and the great water boiled up and began to race along the shore so quickly that Ivan was forced to run before it with all of his might. And onward he ran, with the water racing at his heel and occasionally washing them. Onward he ran until he came up to a tall tree, and upward he climbed and saw that now the waters of the ocean were quickly falling. "Ah, you sound tired. It's almost over, boogity-boo." Well, when the waters had fallen back, Ivan saw that they had left high up the shore a huge stump in a tree. So the bear ran up and raised the stump in his arms and hugged it until it cracked, smash! And the inside of it flew out a downy duck, which soared higher and higher and higher still. So the hawk came in, and the hawk flew up and caught it, wherein an egg fell into the sea, which was caught by the pike. Wow! Which swam to the beach and gently laid the egg at Ivan's feet. So the young man placed the egg in a napkin and ran until he came to the Peerless Beauty, who was stooping over the stove of the kitchen. Ivan put his arms around the cake baker and gave her the egg. Then Ivan turned and saw Koshchei sitting in the window ledge, scowling at him. But as the two rushed to fight, Peerless Beauty dropped the egg on the stove. It broke, and as the shell cracked, Koshchei's heart broke also, and he fell down dead. That's terrible. Yeah. The Peerless Beauty and Ivan feasted on the cakes, though. And after that they went to the country of Ivan's father, who rubbed his eyes when he saw them and said, "Why, Ivan! It's Ivan that left home when he was only 9 days old, and now he brings a Peerless Beauty. Why, I'd never." "Well, we'd never either," cried the nursemaids in a chorus, and they ran to get ready for the second wedding, which was to be celebrated with great splendor. And that is the end. All right. Good night. Love you.